a Playlist original.
Hey, what's up? It's your host, Torry, and who is ready to be petty? Welcome back to another episode of RTBP. I'm so glad you're here, and welcome to 2023. I am recording and posting this baby on January 1st, and I am already hyped for the new year. I am not doing the new year, new me like Miley Cyrus apparently is, but I'm just excited for a fresh start to the year, setting some new intentions and goals and I know, hopefully setting myself up for success in 2023. I had a pretty good 2022. Obviously there's ups and downs to every year, but I'm ready to say see you later or see you never, and just, cautiously optimistically stroll into 2023. Today I am recording solo dolo. I used to do lots of solo episodes. The podcast started as a solo endeavor, and I used to have solo episodes sprinkled in with my guest episodes, but lately, I feel like in the past year, I've had so many great guests that I just have a guest every week. So it's really fun that we're going to be chatting a little one-on-one. I hope everyone had a really good holiday. I put this out on my Patreon, and I'm going to start including and incorporating it a little bit more into these public episodes, but people seem to like a little bit of a personal update. I'm not going to ramble on for a billion years. I feel like my life is way too boring for that. But I do feel like in the old days of RTBP, I did share a little bit more about my week or whatever at the beginning in the intro. So I'm going to start doing that a little bit in the coming episodes. So my Christmas was really good. It was filled with family, fun, relaxation, lots of baking, lots of cooking, lots of lounging, and I'm feeling pretty rested, which is nice to go into 2023 feeling like that. I know that in between Christmas and New Year's, it can either go both ways. You're either in a total Netflix abyss in your pajamas, haven't washed your hair in 5 days, or you're just pounding out the family events, going door to door. So whichever one of those options, because there is only those two that you had, I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you are fighting off that anxiety or whatever today. One random thought I had over Christmas that I just want to pause it and please let me know, but I totally forgot that Hailey Bieber is kind of maybe an aunt to Hilaria and Alex's children. And I'm just curious about what that dynamic looks like. Do Hailey and Justin get gifts for all 12 of the Balwanitos? I need to know. She really doesn't talk about them, probably because Alex got canceled for low-key canceled, but he did kill someone, so that's fair. But I don't know. I almost never associate them together anymore. So I was just unwrapping gifts on a lovely Christmas morning with my family, a latte in hand, and that thought popped into my head. So let me know what you think. Looking forward into 2023 for RTBP, lots of very exciting guests lined up for January and February. Some folks we've never had on the show, some tried and true beloved guests. I still want to talk a little bit about Harry and Meghan, wrap up part 2 of the docu, talk about Spare when it comes out, and talk about just what's ahead of for that couple and the royal family. So hopefully Ida and Zachary, my 2 little royal experts, will be back soon. And then I also really want to dive into the Lamar Odom documentary that comes out tomorrow, January 2nd. It seems like Harvey Levin, who is the creator and main host of TMZ, is the main interviewer of Lamar, and he asks about Chloe, which I'm like obviously fascinated about. I want to know if he's going to talk about Rob, because like all the blinds say that they were like heavily doing drugs when Chloe, Rob, and Lamar lived together, which I'm curious about. And then I just want to also know how the fucking cover for the docu came out. It's literally a picture of Lamar and then an old school picture of Chloe. Like, which it's like, do you have to get consent for that? Like, did she say that was okay? Like, I'm just so fucking curious. So yeah, just really interested in that. And then on the Patreon, I just want to say the Patreon has been one of my best accomplishments of 2022. It's been such a fun, creative endeavor. It is a monthly subscription, and I want to say I know that can be tough times for like anybody, but honestly, come for a bit, stay as long as you can or want to, come binge the episodes, cancel, like whatever you want to do. I'm super happy for you to do it. Don't feel bad or anything like that. I just appreciate you for being there and supporting and wanting to listen. So yeah, come for a bit, binge, come back in a few months, whatever you would like to do. Yesterday, I posted my best of 2022. I went over content, experiences, and products that I purchased. And then part 2 of that episode is going to be my pop culture predictions with Kirsten McInnes of Mess Magnets. We are going to be recording that on January 2nd. So if you're listening to this on January 1st, send us your predictions, speakpipe.com/readytobepetty, or DM me or tweet me or whatever. I'm also going to be talking about Nepo babies with Champ, and then fashion house scandals with Sophie Strauss, who was my guest a few weeks ago talking about what not to wear and stuff. I think that was episode 124. So she's going to come back. I got really positive feedback from that episode. So we're going to talk about all of the, Alexander Wang, Balenciaga, Dolce & Gabbana drams. I want to shout out 2 patrons this week at Cass's Lame. Cassidy, another Pacific Northwest girly. Thank you so much for supporting the pod. I appreciate it so much. And Megan Y from Australia. I kind of... I was like, I should do this in an accent as I was saying the word, and kind of didn't commit. I hesitated. But Megan from down under. I so appreciate you being a patron. One day I hope to visit your beautiful country. Okay, last but not least, I want to discuss one of my fave podcasts of 2022, 2 Cents Critic. I have been a guest over there 3 times, and Arthur, the host, is going to be on my podcast in January, so I'm very excited. But if you are ever in the mood for discussions and reviews about books, movies, and TV shows, head over to 2 Cents Critic, which is a podcast hosted by Arthur Howell and a whole range of special guests, including me, who take the time to break down plenty of media. I covered everything, everywhere, all at once, and 2 romance novels, The Spanish Love Deception and A Merry Little Meet Cute. It was super fun. So again, he covers contemporary romance novels, Netflix movies, and the latest MCU shows on Disney+. Coverage on all of those and more can be found at 2 Cents Critic. You can tune in on all podcast platforms and check out the show on Twitter and Instagram at 2 spelt out TWO_Cents Critic. There are new episodes every Wednesday. Okay, friends, let's dive into our topics today. So I'm going to talk about the Sex Lives of College Girls finale, the last 2 episodes, Emily in Paris season 3, do a little bit of a Kardashian news roundup, talk about the Try Guys, Phoebe and Paul Mescal, small investigation into Chris Olsen, and then wrap up with my Pettyweight Champion of the Week and share my This Week in Petty story. Okay, so I am so thrilled that Sex Lives of College Girls is doing so well. I think it was rated like number 2 on HBO, and I'm just like, this fucking cast and writing and show deserve it so much. So I talked about the first 8 episodes of season 2 in episode 121 with Maddie from Parked Car Convos. And I think something that I didn't say, but I wish I did, was just that like maybe I just haven't found it, or maybe I'm overlooking some shows. So let me know, like message me if you think differently. But like, I just felt like in high school, so I went to high school, like, I don't know, I graduated in 2010. There was so many like fun college shows and fun like comedies like this with like kind of like an ensemble cast that you would like follow the storylines, comedy, but also romance and like drama and stuff like that. But I don't know, I just haven't found a lot of that lately. I guess I don't actually watch tons of scripted shows. Like I really do mostly watch reality TV. So I've just been loving Sex Lives of College Girls. I will say the pacing of these first 2 seasons was fucked. Like it was actually egregious because, as Maddie and I talked about on episode 121, the first season was literally September to Thanksgiving, which it is American Thanksgiving. So like, I guess that is November, but that's literally like 3 months. And then all of season 2 was November to April. So the pacing didn't make a lot of sense for some of the storylines, like Kimberly's storylines with Kanan and Jackson. I'm glad that she dumped Jackson because it's like clearly that relationship was going nowhere. And it's like he was sweet to her and they had good chemistry and stuff like that. But it didn't seem like they had, you know, similar goals or like values or interest really. So it just kind of seemed like a relationship, I don't know, that didn't have a lot of legs to stand on. But the Kanan storyline seemed really out of nowhere. I don't necessarily hate it as a lot of people on like Twitter and stuff do if they, you know, showed us more. But it did seem rushed. And I think that that's the part that people can't get behind. I think it deserves a rewatch. So I think I'm going to rewatch season 1 and season 2 and see if I can see their relationship like blossom more over time. But I do like this, you know, intellectual side that we're seeing of Kanan. And I do think like they're good friends and good relationships are built on good friendships. So I don't know. I don't hate it as much as like everyone does. I do obviously hate that she like fucking lied to Whitney and like didn't say anything multiple times and like all of that shit, like for sure. But yeah, them together doesn't bother me as much as it bothered a lot of other people. I loved the Alicia and Landon storyline, and I want to say Maddie and I fucking called it in the first couple episodes. I think it really shows growth of Landon, which is really what I want to see in like a college TV show, because I just feel like so much growth does happen in university or college, or not even because of that, like definitely because of that, but like just in your early 20s, regardless if you're in school or not. I think that it was, I know everyone's like, I can't believe she broke up with Tatum, she's so hot and stuff like that, which is like, yes, I get that. But it's like, it shows growth that she was dating like basically the old version of herself and didn't like it. So I thought that her storyline is actually like the most flushed out compared to all the other characters. And it's just really good. It shows her growth, yeah, as a person, who she wants to date, and her comfort in queer spaces, like the Women's Center with, you know, the ragtag group of little feminists. So I really, really like that. And I'm just so stoked for Renee Rapp, because I really think like if 2023 is for anybody, it really is for fucking Renee Rapp, because she's killing it on TikTok. She's killing it with new music. She just landed the Regina George role in the Broadway musical version of Mean Girls movie production, which is going to be like unreal, because she actually did play Regina George on Broadway. So I just think that this is her fucking year. Like, sorry for all of us, but it's her year. And then Whitney's storyline, I was really sad about this season. and how it wrapped up. I think it's fucking cool that she was like, hey, I've just been a soccer girly. I'm going to expand to maybe sororities and then science. And I love that she like really dug deep and studied. Like, I was like, I wish I had that grit. Like, I really like that storyline. But the fucking storyline with the science guy, I don't even remember his name, was annoying to me. I thought he was like, and I probably said this in episode 121, but it's like, I thought that he like wasn't like a fun enemies to lover. Like, he just actually seemed like he should have been an enemy. I'm kind of annoyed because he is a Nepo baby, which maybe I'm on my fucking Nepo baby hate train nowadays because of that New Yorker article. But he is, like we said, the son of Julia Louise Dreyfus. And for some reason, I feel like I'm saying her name wrong, but maybe not. His name is Charlie Hall. And I just feel like they kind of like stuck him in, or like didn't think of his storyline as much as they should have. And I thought they could have done a way better like enemies to lovers storyline that maybe blossomed into a better relationship. And then honestly, Bella's storyline, like, what the fuck? I guess it is fun to have like a character that's like, you know, you're like, oh my God, you're a hot mess and stuff like that. But I'm like, you're actually kind of awful in a lot of this. Like, she was so rude about the photo shoot with like the magazine, because it's like, you can't just be the only person. Like, you're literally starting a magazine. She was so rude to Eric, obviously by cheating on him. And then it didn't pay off. not that I'm like supporting that, but like it didn't pay off. And then she was so mean to that girl that was like, I really look up to you. Can you like edit my work? And she was like, this is like straight garbage. Like, it just was really bad. So I have no idea what's going to happen. She like is trying to transfer, but it's like, obviously she's not going to transfer because she's a main character. So we'll just see how that goes. I'm really curious because the season left on a cliffhanger with the housing situation. So do you think Whitney is going to stay in the sorority? Do you think Bella's actually going to transfer? Do you think the four of them will just, you know, after one episode of season 3, be housing to get like rooming together again? Like, just let me know what your predictions are for season 3. Speaking of season 3, Emily in Paris season 3 dropped December 21st, and I honestly luckily had like a sick day / snow day, and I binged the entire thing. And I want to say that nothing fucking happened. Like, literally nothing happened. But I also have like no notes on the season. Like, it was a perfect show. Like, 10 out of 10 would watch again. Like, it was so bad. Like, literally nothing happened. We are still doing the Elfie versus Gabrielle shit. We're still doing the should I move back to the US or should I stay in France shit. And it's just so annoying. And like, again, the pacing, like they just wrapped it up in episode 10, but like not even really. The clothes are getting way more outrageous. Like, I don't think you realize until you look at stills from season 1 how fucking outrageous the clothes have gotten, which again, it is kind of like the part of the charm. It's very Sex in the City because we look at stills of Carrie and shit and we're like, what the fuck was she wearing? But at the time we thought it was like fab. But sometimes I kind of think it's like a sick joke of like, what can we get away with? Some of the outfits are nuts. And then I saw this a lot on TikTok. I don't know if I agree or not. I don't like fully have an opinion, but they're like, half the season was pop songs by Mindy, which like I don't mind because I do really like Ashley Park. She has a beautiful singing voice, but it is like a lot of singing for like a 10 episode 22-minute show. It's kind of honestly like Sex Lives. Like, they should have bigger seasons than 10 episodes if they're only going to do fucking like 30-minute episodes. This was a hot take in my group chat, but I do actually like Mindy's boyfriend, Nico. I think it actually gives her a realistic storyline, and I thought their conversation that they had about him being rude to Emily was like really realistic, and I really actually liked it for Mindy's character and just for Ashley getting to, you know, act because I really like her. And I felt like in season 2 and season 1, she didn't have that juicy of like dialogue. But I'm sure her and Benoit will get back together in the long term. Nico just obviously seems like kind of like a short-term romance. Camille's pregnancy, it's just like, what the fuck? Which is like so weird because it's like, I don't think like, this is dark, but like, I don't think like an abortion storyline or like a miscarriage storyline is happening. So it's like, literally, we're gonna have a baby in season 3. Like, it's just so weird. And then like, obviously Gabrielle can't like piece the scene, so it's like, because that would make him look like a shitty character. So now is it gonna be like kind of like younger, actually, where Liza's boyfriend, I can't remember his name now, that's gonna piss me off, but the younger boyfriend had a baby with Claire, and Josh had a baby with Claire. Then Liza was like pseudo its parent. So like, or like, you know, like step parent. So like, is that what's going to happen here? Camille has her baby and then Gabrielle's the dad. And then Emily like also, you know, cares for her. Like, I don't know. I just don't see that for our girl. But then it's like, obviously Camille is not going to move. And obviously it would look like shit if Gabrielle was like a bad absentee father. But then it's like, also it has to be his baby because she was hooking up with that girl. So like, I don't know. I'm so fucking confused. Like, please let me know what you think. I think the last thing I'll say about Emily and Perry, season 3 is like, Emily's like, I put in quotes, solutions are getting a bit tired. Like, it's so annoying how it's like every episode it's like, oh, there's a mistake and she's the only one to come up with a solution, and everyone's like, this will never work, but we'll do it anyways. Oh, it worked. Like, I think they should do like that, because that's obviously like the premise of the show. But it's like, maybe have other characters contribute, or maybe they don't try. Like, I don't know. I don't even know what I'm saying, but like, it's just annoying how it's like, oh, we didn't think of this, but thank God Emily, this like random chick, is coming up with all the solutions, even though we're like all fucking grown adults. Like, it's like way further in our careers. It's really, really weird. But again, all in all, 10 out of 10, perfect show. Like, we'll watch again for sure. Can't wait for season 4. Like, makes me want to go back to Paris ASAP. It was everything. The unrealistic bedrooms, clothes, dinners, experiences, how they're just in like 2 of the, I still can't remember the word, arrondissement, I don't know, whatever neighborhoods are, like barrios or whatever. Like, it's just so fucking funny, frivolous and frothy and fun, and I love it. Okay, moving on to now I'm French. The Kardashians and adjacent characters. Pete and Emily are over, and it's like, no, they never started. They went on that like one randy date, which like now it doesn't even really seem like a date. It seems like either like a hookup or hangout, or again, just like wanting to be papped for the day. Like, I just don't know, but that was a storyline, and everyone was like, yeah, we know. She's also been seen on dates with other guys, so it's just like, she's obviously just dating around, just like let her live. We also got the Kardashians lie detector video with Khloe and Kourtney, and it was fascinating. I really like these lie detector videos, even though we obviously know that the like lie detectors don't work. Me on my Cairo shit, me on my my lie detector test shit. Like, it just, obviously they're fake, but like, I'm hook, line, and sinker. I watch every single one of them. They just get, even if like the setup is fake, like I feel like they get good sound bites and like some juicy information. We found out that Khloe doesn't let her kids sleep at Kourtney's, and the internet went wild. Now thinking back on it, like, True is only 4 years old, and I do think that Kourtney is kind of like not an absentee mom, but a different, maybe new age mom. I was thinking about the time where Kendall was on the James Corden show and they were playing the like spill your guts, fill your guts game. And he said, rank your sisters that are moms like best to worst. And she actually ranked Kourtney last. And so I just don't think maybe the sisters like her style of parenting, but also like True's really young. Like I don't think I had sleepovers at 4 years old anyways. But then again, I think like if it was with my sisters, like not just like a rando parent, I would probably let them do that. But I don't know. If you have any theories about why Khloe won't let True sleep over at Kourtney's, please slide into my DMs. Landon Barker and Charli D'Amelio got back together. They were together since June 2022, but it seemed like they kind of went on a break. She was seen with another guy named Alex Novian in early December, I think December 12th. And people were sus of them. They were just like standing together waiting for like valet or like an Uber or something outside a bar in Hollywood, or like not a bar because she's like 18, but like, I don't know, a restaurant or something like that. And she actually posted like, oh my God, I can stand next to a guy. But then a picture from inside the club or restaurant or whatever came out and they were like hugging. So then people were like, hey, well, maybe that means that you and Landon are together, like whatever. So there was like rumors about that. But then they both posted on their Instagram 1 day anniversary and she's my girlfriend again on, I think, December 23rd, which it's like perfect time for the D'Amelios to attend the Kardashian Christmas party. And I just want to say, I feel like the Kardashians, like, we always talk about how they have reached a level where they are like A-list, and they usually have like a lot of A-list people at their parties, like John Legend and Jennifer Lopez and stuff. But it's like this year they had Addison Rae and the D'Amelio family, and I really feel like they're going back to their like reality TV, like kind of trashy roots. Speaking of the Christmas Eve party, it was hosted by Kravis this year. I loved Kourtney's outfit. I don't know if that's a hot take or not, but I really, really liked it. And Sia was working the Christmas party, which I kind of find like, is that embarrassing or cool? Apparently she was paid $250K to perform, which like obviously that part's cool. But like, I wouldn't want to be the guest or like a guest and then perform, because it's like, oh, do I have to like, you know, work for the meal ticket? Or it's like, is it cool because you're playing for your friends? But then it's like, would I be here if I wasn't performing? Like, I don't know. So tell me if you think that's embarrassing or cool. And North performed with her, like that snowman song or whatever. She didn't know any of the words. And like, it just shows you that like, I don't know. I just thought it was funny how it was like, when I was a kid, if we were at like a Christmas or New Year's party and someone was singing or whatever, and like, you know, the kid gets on stage or whatever, but like, it's the same thing for the Kardashians, but it's with Sia in like a full outfit and like production. So it's just, you know, oh, the life they fucking live. Kim was also on 2 podcast interviews, one with Angie Martinez and a Goop one. And this is pretty, not rare, but pretty big because she, I feel like, doesn't do tons of long form interviews like this anymore. She said she was still studying for the bar exam. And then she talked a lot about Kanye and keeping Kanye in good faith with her kids and not telling them about what's going on, and, you know, knowing what all the teachers say and are talking about, and limiting their access to the internet and stuff. Like, what do you think about that? Like, if you have a dad that's like that, like, do you try to just put on a brave face for your family, or do you know, like, cut them out? Like, I lean towards cut them out, but I know it's obviously like a complex situation. So let me know what you think. I also like have been thinking a lot about it, and it's like these anti-Semitic thoughts like obviously just didn't come out of nowhere. He's obviously had these for his like whole life and stuff. So it's kind of like, yeah, we shouldn't blame Kim, but it's like, you would probably know all of this. Like, so I feel like she's not innocent. Like, I don't know. I just feel like it's like, yeah, it's good that your kids admire their dad, but it's like, at what cost? Because he's probably, you know, maybe even not purposely, but unconsciously or subconsciously, like bringing these hateful thoughts into like his actions and stuff around the kids, or like, so I don't know. It's all really complicated. She also talked about how she's not in therapy, which is like, Kim, girl, it's fucking 2023. Like, everyone needs a therapist. And she talks a lot about how she can withstand all of this, you know, drama and the Balenciaga stuff and the Kanye stuff. And like, I even think of like the Paris robberies and stuff like that. And it is so true and interesting. And I think that is one thing that I admire about her, and why I still like hate to love her and love to hate her, because she does have this like, you know, grit and inner strength. And she has, I feel like, faced a lot of things and been really strong for her and her family. So it's really interesting, but I'm like, really, girl, you need to be in therapy. And then also, I, again, feel kind of weird commenting on this. I don't know, I might cut this out, but her face, it's so different than before. And I just miss, she's still obviously gorgeous, but she's so beautiful. And you can just tell that she's had way more work done. And I don't know, I'm a little bit sad. Last Kardashian news thing, on TikTok, North posted about her 2 dogs. I think they're called Sushi and Honey. They were in the garage, and it looks like they live in the garage, which it's like, of course, we've seen millions of TikToks and videos and tours of Kim's house. You think she lets fucking 2 dogs live in there? No. They obviously live in the garage, and it has prompted a lot of controversy, obviously. It's also really sad they're like in little pens and stuff, but I really do want to do a Kardashian like pet episode. Maybe I'll do one of those on Patreon this year, because there's been so many pets and I don't think they're always treated well, and they just always kind of disappear. So I thought that was really, really weird. We also saw Kim's real hair, which I love the podcast Say Bible. They are always talking about Kim's different hair color, wigs, all of that stuff. But we saw what her real hair looked like, and it was like short, choppy, fried to little bits. And I was just like, that is your real hair. Like, that's so crazy. It's so short and like looks like you just, you know, over treated it and all of that stuff. And it's just like, it really shows you that like everything is just hours of makeup and beauty and stuff like that. And underneath everything, everyone still has the same like shitty hair that can't grow because you over dyed it. Okay, let's move on to Phoebe and Paul. So this is like a hot topic. People are confused at the status of Phoebe Bridgers and Paul Mescal's relationship. So we discussed this a few weeks ago because we thought that maybe Phoebe, Paul, and Paul's co-star from Normal People, Daisy Edgar Jones, were in a throuple. But then Phoebe was seen kissing Maddie Healy with Bo Burnham. And Maddie Healy, which like, he honestly gives me bad vibes. I don't know why people are obsessed with him, but he's been kissing everybody, like fans and shit, on his 1975 tour. So I was like, hey, maybe they're just posting this like as a joke because he's kissing everybody. But then Bo's there, and apparently he might not be with Laureen anymore. And then Phoebe did a lot of writing on SZA's new album, and there was like kind of stuff that might have been about Paul. So I'm just so confused. And in 2023, I want a definitive answer about the fucking love lives of these now, we thought it was 3 people, these now like 5 people, because it's so fascinating. And it is a friendship, like it is a friend group in Hollywood that I would really want to be a part of. The Try Guys was one of my favorite scandals of 2022, and I just wanted to check in with them before I move into 2023 because we literally didn't hear really anything since it blew up in September. The guys released a new video. It was just Zach Keith and Eugene, and they seemed happy. They're talking about new content and just exciting things for 2023. And I know that throughout the remainder of 2022, they had like a lot of already filmed content that they just had to like edit. So I bet they're really excited to start fresh. But honestly, this is like one of my predictions, but I kind of think they're gonna break up. And I don't think it's gonna be like a sad thing, but it kind of just reminds me of like Little Mix when Jessie left, Fifth Harmony when Camila left, and One Direction after Zayn left. It's like you try to rebrand, you try to do something different. Even like Grey's Anatomy when like fucking like Burke and McDreamy and Christina and shit left. It's like you try to rebrand, you try to do something different, but it just doesn't have the same magic or the same, I don't know, excitement. It's just different. So I'm worried because I do really like those guys, but I do feel like if they were to break up or just, you know, pursue solo things, I do think that it wouldn't be because they were on bad terms with each other. It was, again, just because they couldn't capture the same thing pre-scandal. We have heard no news from Ned nor Ariel. So my question for you is, do you think that Ned is going to pitch a comeback in 2023? Or do you think, again, he's just going to kind of lay low, live off the money he's earned from the Try Guys and probably is still getting residuals from, and maybe just work like, you know, post-production or like edit or like whatever, like behind the scenes? Or do you think he will try to make a comeback as like a front-facing personality to the internet? I am VVV curious. Okay, let's wrap up our last topic before we get to Pettyweight Champion of the Week and This Week in Petty. So Chris Olsen is someone that I've wanted to talk about on this podcast forever, and I've just had to like scrap it for like time or whatever over the last couple of weeks. So I'm just so excited to get into this. So Chris Olsen became popular on TikTok in 2020 with his boyfriend Ian Paget. And they broke up in 2021, but they still are both TikTokers. He has 8.5 million followers. He comes up on my For You page probably more than I would like to admit. Not that I don't like his content. I think he's like funny and stuff, but I don't know. That's not the kind of content I'm looking for on TikTok. So there's a few things that is like really interesting. He is suspected to run the Harry Styles beauty brand, you know, pleasing TikTok, because the TikTok account was not doing well. It was struggling to get views. It was very curated, very overproduced, like a lot of graphics, like obviously done professionally, which we know on TikTok, it's supposed to be like done shittily, no offense to anybody, but like, you know, just filmed in your house or your bathroom or whatever. But over the last couple months, like this fall, they've grown exponentially because they are posting more authentic, relatable, funny, informal videos using a lot of the TikTok sounds that are viral. And people, because I fucking love this shit, people have lined up like the wood grain on his bedroom floors, his kitchen tile, and all of this stuff to make the conclusion that it's probably him running the TikTok. He was also seen at one of the Harry Styles LA shows, and Harry, like, you know, had the camera on him, so it was on the big screen, and Chris had a sign that said daddy, and that went viral on TikTok. So I just think that like it makes a lot of sense. But concurrently with all of this stuff done for Harry, Chris started posting on Meghan Trainor's account. And Meghan and Harry have the same manager. So they've been doing a lot of dances, singing, bits, like all of this shit. He was in her official music video for I Made You Look. He has been on red carpets with her, on her YouTube and her podcast. And in one of their first videos together, they alleged that they were childhood friends who reconnected, which I honestly took at face value, which is so funny because I'm like such a big dum-dum. But I don't know. I was like, okay, cool. Like that's cool. And like, I don't really care about Chris or Meghan in particular. So I was like, you know, that's just cool that they reconnected. And some people did go to high school together. Like, we know the only thing I can think of is Seth Rogen went to high school with Jesse Cruikshank, 2 Canadian icons, but I can't think of anyone else. But you know what I mean. So I found out later that it was fucking photoshopped and they just actually have a working relationship. Like, he's literally just her social media manager and her career was tanking. And now she like has the biggest song on TikTok, which it's not even good. Like, I don't like her music, but she is like doing so well. She was on like the Drew Barrymore show. She's just fucking everywhere. And like, she needed this. And it's so funny because I was looking at some of the TikTok videos about them and so many people still believe they're childhood friends. And it's so funny because people will be like, rando duo or whatever. And then someone will be like, oh no, they're childhood friends or whatever. Do you think that that's like a funny bit to cover up that you actually just hired this man? Or do you think it's like misleading and you should just be transparent? I think it's kind of just shows you how like everything on the internet goes from like something that's real and authentic to something that is fucking fake and manufactured, to a point where you have to lie about how you know this person, even though they are a hired employee to help you with social media. Like, that's just so interesting to me. He also is a singer, like they do singing bits. So I was also thinking like this would be so beneficial for him too, if he was trying to branch into a music career. Cause I know a lot of TikTokers, just cause we, again, still don't know the longevity of the app. Like, is it going to be a, you know, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or is it going to be a Snapchat? Like, we don't know. So it'd be smart for him to, again, branch out into these other gigs. But yeah, I don't know. Do you think it's sus that they don't have to like disclose that it's a business relationship? Therefore, like, kind of, I guess not sponsored or an ad, but like, I don't know. It does seem like there's something not sinister, but like, you know, business about it. And why I think they've been so successful is it doesn't seem like a business relationship. It seems like a friendship. So it's been really powerful. And we know that parasocial relationships are the driving force as like successful marketing nowadays. So I'm just really, really interested to see where this relationship goes. If more people hire, you know, randos like Chris and use TikTok, like the Kardashians. I've talked about this. Like, they don't, other than North and P's account, they don't really use it. And that is huge because, or like, that's a huge missed opportunity because that is where everything is nowadays, like, is on TikTok. So you're missing out on like a whole subset of, you know, audience. So it's just really, really interesting. Okay, let's move on to Pettyweight Champion of the Week. This is the part of the show where I'm going to nominate a Pettyweight Champion of the Week, someone in the media who did something petty and it was iconic. And this week I'm nominating Greta Thunberg. I think that's how you say her last name. Honestly, fucking iconic. Pettyweight Champion of forever. She got into a little tiff with Andrew Tate on Twitter. He was talking about how he has 33 cars and like that pollutes the environment. And she tweeted back at him that he has a small dick basically and that she doesn't care. And he got ratioed so fucking hard that of course he had to post another video. But in this other video, there was a pizza box and it had an address in Romania. And so the police found out that he was back in his home country and he had a bunch of warrants out for his arrest for like SA and human trafficking and all of this stuff. And so they fucking found him. And it is just like chef's kiss perfection. The way that she did that, like so low key, it really was the perfect cap to 2022. And it reminded me of a pizza box story that I had. It's similar vibes, but way different. So as a lot of you know, I used to be an RA, a resident advisor when I was in university. And one year, I lived on the bottom floor in an apartment and I had these really big windows out to like a main street. And for like months, there was someone just dropping their garbage, like bags of garbage, out their window. So they were, I think it was a six floor building. I was on the first floor. So it could have been, you know, the second, third, fourth, fifth, or sixth floor, just straight up dropping their bags out the window. So we're like, okay, it could be these, you know, 5 people or whatever, or maybe it's someone just adjacent and it's just dropping like with the wind or whatever, like physics. Maybe it's just always landing outside of my window. I also want to say where I lived, it was at UBC. Where I lived, it's like mouse and like rat central station. So because it's right by the ocean. So if you have like garbage outside of your window and rats come, like they will easily just, like I had open windows really close to the ground, like it would just be a disaster. So it was a big deal. Also, you shouldn't be littering. You should just fucking walk your garbage down to the garbage disposal bins like an adult. But anyways, so we're like, hey, what the fuck? Like all this garbage is always coming out my window for months, but like how do you find out who's doing that and ask them to stop? So, you know, I went to all of the people that live there and just said like, hey, like this is happening. Like if it's you, like please stop, blah, blah, blah. And it never did. So one day I was sitting on my couch and I was actually talking with another resident advisor, and I was like glanced out the window and I saw a huge fucking bag of garbage drop like perfectly out the window. And I was like, oh my fucking God. So I was like, hey, this just happened. So I'm going to go look and see if there's like a window open. So I like run out the door, look if there's a window open. There's not. But I noticed there's a large bag of garbage and a fucking pizza box from Domino's. So I go take the garbage and I'm walking it down to the garbage room. And of course, because it was a delivered pizza, it had a phone number and a name on the pizza box. So I found out who was throwing the garbage out the window. I feel like that was really anticlimactic. But anyways, I had my own Greta Thunberg story back in 2016. So like truly icons only. Watch your pizza box if you're ever gonna, you know, commit an egregious crime. Okay. Finally, let's wrap up with This Week in Petty, where I'm going to share a story about something that happened in my real life that I'm petty about. I am petty about white people cooking this holiday season, and this is a shout out to my mom. Again, this is no tea, no shade. She is the best cook, but it is so fucking funny because every time I cook with her, we like differ on like one thing. Like there's always one thing that we differ on. So like, for example, and please tell me if you do this or if you don't. Like, I feel like this is a hot topic. So, for example, if you boil pasta, put salt in the water. Like, please. Like, I put salt in the water for my pasta and oatmeal I made, and my dad, like, shit his pants this Christmas. And it's like, please salt your fucking water. It makes such a difference. So, okay, there's the salt in the water. But when you take the boiled pasta and you strain it, don't rinse it. Do not fucking rinse it. Like it's literally like you just wash like the starch off and you cool the pasta. You want the pasta to be hot. So don't put water over it. Just put it in the sauce. Like just drain the water and then put it into the sauce. Okay. So that's one thing. And then the second thing is I was cooking breakfast sausages and my mom's like, oh, now's the time that you like poke holes in all of them and release all the fat. And I was like, no, Mom, the fat is what makes the sausage taste good and keeps the heat like, so it cooks the inside. And if you poke it, all the steam comes out as well, and the insides won't cook. And she's like, I've been cooking for 45 years. I don't know why she sounded like a grumbly bear, but it's just so funny. So do you poke your sausages and do you put water over your strained pasta, and do you put salt in your water before you cook like anything? I need to know. Okay, let's wrap up. Thank you so much for listening, and thank you so much for supporting me throughout 2022. I say this probably not enough, but like every like, every share, every review, every download, every comment, every DM means the fucking world to me. It is so cool that I get to do something that I love every single week and meet badass people like through my guests and the audience. Like, it's just truly the light of my life. So thank you so much. I want to thank Sonalia and the team at Playlist Studios for editing my episodes and being awesome. I want to thank Zany at Tiny Cactus on Etsy, who makes my merch, the keychains and the Starbucks cups. I do have 2 kind of annoying goals for 2023. I want to hit 200 reviews on Apple Podcasts. I think I'm at 150. So I think I need 50 reviews. So if you have not, please head over to Apple Podcasts, leave a 5-star rating and review, and help me get to 200 in 2023. And I want to get to 2,000 followers on Instagram. I'm at like 1,700. So send the pod to someone who you think would like to listen to it. And hopefully I can get to 2,000 before we're ringing in 2024. I am so excited for what the podcast has in store for 2023. I want to do more merch. I want to do more hangouts like our live stream and our trivia nights, more fun episodes and guests. If you have any ideas for me, always slide into my DMs. I, want to make everyone happy. I'm a little people pleaser. And I want, just to make this the best community and podcast, that it could be. So slide into my DMs. I love, executing ideas that other people have. That sounds so bad, but it's true. Okay, friends, I hope you are safe and healthy out there. As always, I'm your host, Torry, and I am ready to be petty. See you soon. Bye.